All right. Hey, this is Jeremy Shirley, Regional Entertainment News. We have two familiar faces on the show. We have JD Andrew and we have Bud Thornton of the Boxmasters. They keep releasing hit album after hit album. Brand new release that actually comes out today. Light Rays, you can get it on CD, LP, and you can get it on digital download. October 23rd. Guys, how you doing?
Good.
Great, Jeremy. Thanks for having us.
Pleasure. You're one of our favorites. We want to go ahead and tell fans how they can find you when they're tuning in. Social media, you guys have Facebook, Instagram, and your website.
Yeah, we have, but mostly it's I don't keep up on the Facebook very well. I like Instagram. It's a simple one. It's easy to post the pictures and do something kind of every day. Facebook is a little bit more difficult to keep up with for me. And the website, we've got a new website that I built, and this is the first time we've kind of taken over our own merchandise and website and all that stuff. So this has been a big learning process of trying to, figure out how this stuff works, because honestly, it's not something we've ever had to do before. So the whole promoting ourselves, the whole selling ourselves, it's not really something that comes naturally to us. We're much bigger on just making music and playing shows, and these days you can't just do that. You have to get out there and sell your wares and make your websites and all that fun stuff. So it's it's difficult for us elder statesmen of rock.
I'll help you guys as much as I can.
Well, we appreciate that, man. It's always helpful. Get some help from somebody of the younger generation.
I notified all the radio stations. I let them know that it was your album release again, so they should be playing "Breathe Easy" on the rotation again.
Cool.
Okay. We want to tell you, this is the first album that isn't based on a tour. Is that correct?
Yeah, and that was not by design. That's just because of the COVID thing, them shutting down live music and all that. We were gonna be able to, have this record out for the tour this year, but they've moved our tour to next year, so we'll be out kind of the end of June next year through the first or second week of September. They're not releasing the specific dates yet, just because things are changing all the time. But we know that that's the parameters. That's the time we'll be out. We're going to Europe first. And
is there any certain venue forward to?
Oh, what's that now?
Is there any certain venues that you guys are looking forward to play in Europe?
Yeah, all of it really, because I've toured there, as a solo act before, but we've never been to Europe as the Boxmasters, so we were looking forward to it just in general to be there. And obviously, there are places over there that, since we're big, British invasion fans, England is very attractive to us, as well as Ireland and the UK in general, and Germany, because in Germany, the Beatles and a lot of their pals, Rory Storm and all those guys, that Ringo played with before, they all started out there and, over in Hamburg. And so we're looking forward to that. I've seen all that stuff, but some of the other guys haven't, and I don't think JD has.
I've never been to Europe at all, so this was going to be my first time. So I was really looking forward to it, and we were going to be all over the place from the UK and Scotland and Ireland and Norway, Switzerland, Germany. There was all sorts of places that we were heading, and also in the US and Canada part of the tour, we were going to go to the eastern part of Canada that we'd never been to before. And I was looking forward to that because, that was a whole new section that we'd never been on tour before. So we had a lot of really cool stuff lined up. And so thankfully, we're able to just take that tour and move it to next year. And, we'll have, I'm sure, another record or two out by then or for the next tour. So, we'll have, plenty of stuff to talk about. And yeah, it's really something to look forward to.
I want to ask you, did Light Rays come first or the Boxmasters 66?
Well, we actually made Boxmaster 66 first, and made Light Rays after. Well, Boxmaster 66 was before the last tour. Light Rays was after the last tour, and the label heard both records. They loved both of them, and they essentially said, "Quit texting me."
They gave us they said, what do you want to put out? And it came down to us going, you know what, we're feeling like Light Rays is the one, and we're hoping to do Boxmaster 66 for Record Store Day. We didn't make it to the last one. We kind of made up that plan a little late in the game. So, we just said, well, let's put out Light Rays next, and then we'll save 66 for the next Record Store Day. And so, hopefully that's a way that we can get, a couple of records out in 1 year, as well as then have something new, which we've already got finished, or probably would be the next one for the next tour next summer. So we've always got a glut of albums ready to go. So it's just a matter of figuring out when the record label wants to put them out.
Yeah, and also Boxmaster 66 seemed to make sense. It was JD's idea to put that one out for Record Store Day, because Boxmaster 66 is obviously a very 60s influenced record. So we thought that would be appropriate for Record Store Day, since, record stores were the thing in the 60s. So I wish they were still.
Yeah, exactly. It was Record Store Day likes to have exclusive sort of products, and 66 seems like a perfect one for that, and just only put it out on vinyl, and you can only get it in independent record shops. So, it's the places that we like to go stop when we're on tour, whenever there's one around. And, that'll just be a good feeling, is like walking into a great old record shop, seeing your record there, and it's the only place you can get it.
Where did you guys come up with the artwork? Because it looks like a light coming out of the sky, or was it just by accident?
No, we asked a friend of ours, a guy named Matt Cullen. Matt's a really great designer and film director and all this kind of stuff. He's the one who did the T-surfing cover.
As well as Spec.
And he also did Spec, the one that Jeff Emmerich wrote. So yeah, that T-shirt you're wearing, Matt Cullen came up with that design. My daughter Bella actually named the record, and Matt came up with the design, which we thought was brilliant. And so when we did Light Rays, we wanted something simple. We didn't want to have our pictures on it, and we wanted it to be something kind of, intriguing but not busy. And so we just said, look, here's the name of the record. It's Light Rays. What do you got? And he just kept sending us designs, until we saw that one. And JD and I both had picked that out as our favorite so far of what he had. And so we just ended up going with it, and we thought it was just right for it.
I'm excited. It came out today. They got 11 songs. For how long did it take you for this record? Or was this just in between take?
How long did it take us, JD?
I believe it took us, it was like 3 or 4 sessions.
Yeah.
I think it was probably three or maybe 4 3-day sessions where we, recorded a song a day, and it didn't take very long. I mean, it was a quick process, and, like all of our records, it's, pretty fast and furious. Once the ideas are there, we get in there, we record them, and, so there's not a whole ton of thinking about, like a whole lot of ideas. It's like, okay, we've got a focused idea of how this record's going to sound, and we, are pretty, tunnel visioned on that is going to be the idea of how we do this record. So Light Rays was just, after every tour, we're always really fired up to get back in the studio. And so we did that. We did one session at Henson where we usually record and did, 3 or 4 songs. And then we did another session at a studio called Barefoot Recording, which is this old historic studio that Stevie Wonder recorded, all of his records from the early 70s in. And they had a Vox Jaguar organ, and we were really excited about that, and we played it on some of the songs, and it just really kind of gave a overall cohesive feel to the whole record. And so, a few solos got played on that. It got played all over all the songs, and it just had all these sounds from the bands that we loved from the late 60s and mid to late 60s, and it is a record that has a lot of textures and stuff. And so we're really proud of how it ended up sounding and all the stuff that we could add to it. And, then it just gave us ideas for the next record that we're working on. What can we do to propel our sound forward, and what's our inspiration for the next thing?
I know you guys have been together for almost 10 years now and going strong. How has your writing changed from your very first album to now?
Well, yeah,
14 years, Jeremy.
14 years. Well, I would say, we sound more like we naturally sound more now. The first couple of Boxmasters records were kind of these, we had this, bizarre sort of hillbilly British invasion fusion, humorous sort of idea behind it, and I always tell people it's like if Frank Zappa were going to make a hillbilly British invasion record, what would he do? And that was kind of what we set out to do. So we played kind of like we don't really play or sing on that record. And after that, we said, okay, we've done that. And now let's just, write some songs and be ourselves. And that's what we've done for the past, dozen years. And, I think we probably had a little bit more Southern influence in the maybe country rock influence in the earlier records. In the last 5 or 6 records, it's more just pop stuff. I mean, we're a pop rock band from the 60s now, which is what we love. And so these days we're just, play exactly in our wheelhouse, which is that, bands that are, our influences sneak into our songs, so we love the Beatles and the Kinks and the Animals and the Dave Clark Five, and but we also love people lyrically like Chris Christopherson and John Prine and Warren Zevon, so you combine all those things together, and that's kind of what the deal is. Beatlesy, birdsy kind of sounding stuff, with lyrics that aren't always lyrics that are sometimes more complex or darker than what the song sounds like. We get a kick out of it.
Yeah, there's also Pink Floyd-esque, influences too. So that, there's a lot of lyrics that are, have a lot of Roger Waters influence in them, and other textures and sounds that Pink Floyd might do, but in a more poppy sort of way at times. So we just love so many of the bands and so much of the music of youth that it's hard not to have all those things shed off of you as you're playing and just become part of your sound.
Yeah. I wanted to say my all-time favorite song is "That Boy Is Bad News." Is there a chance you guys will ever do a music video or play it live?
Let's see. We haven't played it live, have we, JD?
I don't think so. It's it's up tempo enough. It should work in a live situation. But honestly, we there's for videos, we've had tons of ideas about doing them. It's just a matter of logistically being able to do it. It's like, well, do we want to you know, just do it with the two of us, or you know, how are we going to do this? So, you know, and honestly, there's so few places, you know, other than putting them on YouTube or your website. You know, there's no real way to make a bunch of money off of making videos. So, you know, until we can do that, you know, it costs a lot of money to make one, and then there's not a lot of return on it. So, you know, it's a lot easier and less expensive for us to just keep making records and putting those out.
It's still my favorite song from you guys.
Well, thank you. We like that song too. We're pretty fond of it. So you never know. Maybe we will play it live sometime, especially if you're there.
Yeah. Well, you know, Knuckleheads would always be a great place to bust out a song like that. You know,
Knuckleheads would be perfect.
You know, when you're talking about tour stops that, you know, places we look forward to, you know, Kansas City at Knuckleheads is always one of the top of the list. So, you know, this for sure will be there next summer. You know, we just don't know exactly when, but you know, we're always going to go stop by Kansas City and see Frank and the gang there.
I want to ask, so we can tell your fans, when you go to the boxmasters.com, you can view, you have a free tour book, and then you also uploaded on your tour book your set list and what some of the songs you're going to be playing for next year. Do you care to talk about that?
Well, we haven't mentioned it since, you know, since we put out the little teaser video that's telling people to go check it out. But yeah, we made a book that's the set list from our tour. You know, what it would have been this summer, all the songs that we would have played. You know, there's some new songs from Light Rays, as well as, you know, there's some songs from Boxmaster 66 that we played on the last tour. And so there's a link, you know, there on the page, so you can just hit play on it and listen to the songs. All the lyrics for all the songs are in that tour book, and you know, pictures from various shows, some of them that you've taken, Jeremy, and just as much stuff as we could put there that people could see, that they could kind of, you know, experience our show in kind of a, you know, 2D form. So you know, that's definitely there. And then you know, just last night the web store went up, so there's some autographed CDs and vinyl records of the last couple. There's some t-shirts from random tours, like the T-surfing shirt you're wearing. I've got a few of those left. There's a few other random things, and you know, we're just kind of starting this out. It's nothing we've ever done personally ourselves, so you know, we're figuring out how to do it and how to you know, make things available to folks, and this is a whole new experience. So hopefully people will be patient with me and getting all the orders processed and getting it out to them. But you know, we're trying to do it as you know, as easily and painlessly as possible. And also, if you know, if anyone listens to this and wants to go check out the store, there's a code. You can either use grand opening or Light Rays, and you get 20% off of your order in the store. And shipping is free in the United States, because that's a real pain to figure out all the shipping rates for everything. And so it's like I'll figure it out eventually. And but you know, right now it's like, okay, let's you know, try to make a deal for folks, and they can get some Boxmaster merch and, you know, support the cause.
Yeah, we're a mom and pop organization, only it's two pops. So
yeah,
it's but yeah, we got, you know, we have t-shirts from like other tours, you know, that because at the end of the tour you got a few left over in certain sizes and stuff like that. So we thought, you know, these won't be back around again, you know. So we thought, yeah, sell those on the store, you know, to people that are interested, and like JD said, some signed records and things like that. So and these are all past records. Obviously, when new stuff comes about, you know, there'll be new T-shirt designs for the next tour, a new record for the next tour, all that kind of thing. But those will, you know, that'll be next summer. So this is a way to kind of, you know, keep people in gear, and, you know, kind of, you know, allow us to make some more. and gear, and it's really cool. I'm glad JD's doing it instead of me. Tell you that, 'cause I'm such an idiot. There's no telling what would happen to this stuff, dude. You know, it would end up in a, you know, I'd probably try to send something to Kansas City and send it to Australia.
Have you guys discussed doing a stage it since you guys weren't able to play this year?
We kind of have, but you know, our thing is, you know, unless people really see the show that we put on, we're not all that interested in doing the you know, a guy playing an acoustic guitar and another guy singing. You know, it's like we're a rock and roll band, and you know, it's we don't want to give people the impression of, you know, we're a, you know, a soft rock acoustic duo and that's really not like how we sound. So unless I can figure out some way to make it sound like we're a band and not have to, you know, deal with the cost of flying all the rest of the guys from across the country and then, you know, rehearsing and all that, it's just been something that it's like, it's not the easiest thing for us as a band, and because we just want to do it right. We want people to see our show the way we want it to be put on, you know, and that is usually in a rock and roll club. That's, you know, that's the kind of band we are. We're a rock band that plays sweaty, greasy rock and roll joints, and as well as
and we're actually sweaty and greasy ourselves, so it works out amazingly. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's that's, you know, we're, you know, if we could figure it out, then we would. But you know, we're gonna do a thing here and there, but you know, it's mostly you know, for friends. But you know, doing one that's just for us to put on a show, you know, unless we can do it right, I'm not sure that we're gonna do one.
I wanted to talk, since you guys do so much posting on Instagram, because I've got to see a lot of photos that a lot of fans haven't got to see before, and you guys are constantly posting stuff. I got to see, I believe it was you, Bud, you were on Ringo's drum set.
No, that's actually my drums, but they're like a Ringo kit. They're a Ludwig, you know, Ringo kit. They're just a different color than his. His was like the oyster shell with like the black and silver, you know, and these are the olive and blue and sort of yellowish color, but same pattern, just different color. But those are just my drums. Got two Ludwig kits. The one we use in the studio is that one. We don't take it on the road because it's too pretty to screw it up. But the one we take on the road is the Blue Sparkle Ludwig kit, the sort of traditional Blue Sparkle Ludwig kit. And yeah, so
Jeremy, you weren't talking about the Ringo kit that Billy played. There's a Woody Guthrie museum down in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and they had some sort of Beatles, you know, traveling, you know, history display, something.
right.
And so there was it wasn't a Ringo kit. I mean, it was like a fake looking one, you know, but it was like drum with Ringo, and you got to sit down at his kit and kind of look at a video of Ringo drumming, and then you're supposed to try to do it yourself. And so I snapped a picture of Billy sitting behind that kit. But that museum in Tulsa is great. You know, it's really an amazing place to go check out, you know, some history of, you know, one of the earliest legends of the music business. And, you know, they have a ton of stuff about the Dust Bowl and other, you know, musicians in that time, and as well as then the Beatles stuff. And then, you know, seems like there was some Bob Dylan things, and you know, it's just a really really interesting museum to check out. And we were lucky enough that it was just right down the street from Kane's Ballroom, and we were able to just walk right over there and take the tour, and then go back and do sound check.
I want to ask, I saw some photos, I believe it was 2 years ago, Artemis got to join you guys on set.
Yeah, we were in Asheville, North Carolina. And our buddy Dave Fowler, who was playing bass with us then. Dave plays with Artemis, and so Artemis wanted to come down because he lives out that way, you know, and so Dave's known Artemis a long time, and you know, and I've known him a little bit and have talked to him on the phone before, and so he came out and saw us, and he sat in on drums at the end of the show, which was real nice, you know, and it was very cool. He played on that mountain, I think, as a matter of fact, in the encore with us, and sometimes I get back on drums and play that mountain, you know, but that night it was like, well, Artemis is here, you know, so let's do that. And yeah, he was a very cool guy to us, and but yeah, that's how that came about.
How important is it for you guys to do as many independent interviews as opposed to major networks that have to sometimes censor opinions and voices?
Yeah, well, we love doing independent interviews because they tend to be, well, first of all, you can actually get a word out, you know, and you know, the bigger places tend to have, you know, more I don't know what you call it. Well, it's just what's a commercial, you know, deal, you know, and we're sort of independent guys. So sometimes we're more understood in an independent format. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly. And people aren't trying to, pull things out of your past, to try to, they're like, oh, this is what we know you from, they think. And so we're going to just play to that. And it's it's exhausting, it's like we're not, coming to a place to talk about anything other than what we're doing there. It's like if we're there to play a show or to promote a record, that's what we'd like to talk about. And if we can get that in, then hey, maybe we'll talk about something else. But we're working. We got to get out there and hit the bricks and talk about what we're there for and try to get people to come out and see the shows and buy the records. So us talking about stuff that is not very current isn't going to help us that much at all. So hopefully we'll do interviews. I mean, we try to do them with people like you that we know, and that we know are going to talk about the music and what we're up to, and actually have intelligent conversations about what the songs are about, and instead of why is the album cover black, that kind of stuff.
We're not very fancy, Jeremy, as you know.
Yeah, we got dressed up for this interview and everything,
Oh yeah, exactly.
Well, I appreciate all the time you give me.
If you could see how many leaves I've tracked in on this carpet back here in this room, just, I don't know.
I wanted to ask you guys, did the interview go good with Motley that I got you set up with?
It was great.
Yeah, no, he's a good dude, and we had lots of fun talking to him, and so hopefully we'll go swing through Ardmore again and go stop by the station or wherever it actually is. But we played a show in Ardmore, Oklahoma a few years ago at the what was it called?
It's a theater. It's been there a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it's an old historic, like a memorial theater or something like that. But this amazing old place. I mean, it looks like they would have played basketball in the Hoosiers era in that place.
Yeah.
And so we had a great show that it was a great crowd, and Randy Travis came out and hung out and watched the show with us, and said hi after, and it's just a great time. And so our buddy Aubrey booked us down there, and he's got this restaurant called the Two Frogs, and I know they play music there constantly, and we had a great time. It's a little off the beaten path, even though it's like right off the interstate. But it's it's a small little place, and honestly, it's just like the places Billy and I grew up. So we were pretty right at home when we were there.
Well, where I grew up, Ardmore is like
Is that a big city?
or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Gypsum only has 300 people, so it's the same for me.
Yeah, if when I was a kid, if we went to Ardmore, I wouldn't have known what to think about it. It would have been bigger than any place I'd ever been.
Every time I talk to you guys, you say Bellflower will always be your home. Have either one of you thought about running for mayor or office in Bellflower?
We're not real big on running for political office because they just start to tear you apart. We've been torn apart enough, so we don't need any more of it.
Yeah, and honestly, I think Bellflower, is it's doing okay on its own. They're doing pretty well from the taxes they make from Cal Worthington Ford and all the rest of the car lots down there. So, it's I think they're doing okay. So they've got it pretty sorted out, and hopefully at some point we'll get a key to the city, and we'll get into all the special places. But right now it's just our spiritual home, and we're really proud of it.
I listened to all of your songs back to back and albums today when they all came out. I wanted to know, have you guys ever recorded on a Kalamazoo or a washboard?
A washboard or a kazoo?
Yes.
Let me see. I've played a kazoo before, just for the heck of it.
You know what? I got a dozen of them from Audio Technica, the microphone company. The last time we were playing in Kent, Ohio, and their U.S. headquarters is right outside of Kent, and they gave me a handful of kazoos. But then I forgot we had them until just now. Otherwise, we probably would have put it on a record.
Well, you know what? Next time we go in there, let's bring those suckers and let's put some kazoos on there.
Yeah.
I used to, when I was a teenager, I used to be in a bluegrass band back home, and I played washboard then. But other than that, I haven't played a washboard since. But Jim Dandy has sat in with us in Memphis before and brought his washboard. And we opened for a band I was in, opened for Black Oak years and years and years ago. And so I got to see Jim Dandy with his washboard up close several times. But we may want to think about that, JD. We could take a washboard and some kazoos and then kind of manipulate the sound and make some weird sounds out of that stuff,
Yeah, we can do.
Thanks for the tip, Jeremy. We'll have to give you a credit on the record for that.
When I went back and I saw some of your dates, you guys played in April, and some of them back in the past. If you guys ever played on April the 1st, would you guys ever consider pranking your friends, like say JD and the Boxmasters or some different band up there?
Sure, we're
big on pranks. Yeah, we're big on it. But
we love that stuff.
I'm sure we played on April Fool's Day before, but I mean, we used to do March-April tours all the time, so we had to have played an April Fool's show at some point. But
we've definitely played at some places where it felt like April Fool's.
Yeah. Or it was definitely a joke that we were there.
Now, JD, I saw that you guys did a post. I want to make sure I get this link in there that there's a charity for one of your friends that they need help covering medical bills, and I wanted to know if you guys wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, we've actually got a couple. We've got a couple. I haven't even done the JP post yet because Gibbons did one the other day, and so I didn't want to do it right on the back of his. But yeah, our friend Michael Buffalo Smith is a writer in South Carolina, and he's been a big friend of ours, since we started the band, or even before we started the band. And so he does a podcast called the Kazoo Radio Hour, something like that. And Also, he has a magazine. I think it's called Kazoo magazine that that he always reviews the records and talks us up. But yeah, Michael Buffalo's had some health problems, and so we donated a few items for an online auction for him. And so I don't have the link on me, but if if you go on our Instagram page, then there's a link. And then there's also another friend of ours in Houston, John Paul Shelnut, who also he had a stroke, and so there's a GoFundMe, I believe, that to help help with his medical bills as well. So there's just a lot of people need a help out there. It's like folks that even if they've had some money in the past and all that, as soon as you have a medical emergency, that is gone these days. So it's lucky that a lot of these guys have a lot of friends who are helping them out and trying to spread the word that so somebody else can help out as well. And so yeah, we just want to take care of our friends, because who knows when we're going to need help.
Anybody can help out Michael Buffalo and JP would be great. They're Michael's down in South Carolina there, and JP's in Houston. And JP goes way back with us too, and he has even been on the road with us as a we call
security
Shelnut. Yeah, JP security company. But he could really use the help too right now. He's in rehab, trying to get back to where he can walk again and regain the use of his arm, his left arm, stuff like that. And he's working really hard. The nurses there said that he's the hardest working person they ever had in rehab because he really wants to get back to it. And one of the things that I know that they're doing is there was a photo shoot I did with Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top a couple of years back with a great photographer named Ross Halfin. And there's a picture of me and Gibbons over at the Sunset Marquee where we all hang out. And so Billy and I both signed it. So it's a, Dose Billy's, and we both signed it. And so I don't know how they're doing it exactly, but it's like if you donate a certain amount, you get one of those pictures signed by me and Gibbons, and so we're just trying to do little things like that we can, for him. And same for Buffalo. We signed some posters and records and things like that you can get from that auction.
Have you guys acquired any new instruments since last time we talked?
Yeah, a few little things. Well, I got these. There's these drums called Trixons from the late 50s, 60s in there. A lot of bands played that always had sort of weird shapes. Like they have like an egg-shaped bass drum or a floor tom that would have be 14 inches at the top and 18 inches at the bottom, weird stuff. But they were sold by, I'm not sure exactly how it happened, but Vox drums were like Trixons, and it's either Vox owned Trixon or Trixon was hooked up with Vox somehow or the other. But one way or the other, Vox did a reissue of the old Vox drums with the weird looking bass drum and everything. So I got those to just have something here at the house to bang around on, And JD's always buying something and making his wife mad. So he's bought a few new things lately, And I got new ukulele. I got two new little guitars to write songs on. Two little acoustic Taylor guitars to write songs on. And but I think that's all I bought recently. Oh, we bought a Mellotron. We bought a Mellotron not too long ago. We bought that out of the band fund, so it belongs to me and JD both. We use it on the records a lot. And so yeah, Mellotron, Vox drums, couple of new little acoustic guitars, another ukulele, and then JD, there's no telling.
Well, the main thing that people might have seen the new Fender commercial and wondered who that voice was. And for the American Professional 2 guitars that they just released, Billy was the voice, the voiceover person. So that just came out last week, and so they sent him, even though it's in my possession, they sent him a Stratocaster from the new line, and I'm waiting on a Jazzmaster. So, we're gonna have a couple of new cool guitars to take to the studio and take on the road. And so we'll see, how they sound when we put them under the microscope. But they feel, the Strat feels amazing right now, and is turquoise and perfectly fits into the old Boxmaster aesthetic. So we're looking forward to using that. And other than that, I can't think of anything else new that we've got that would be that interesting. There's always something that's like, oh, let's try this thing out, and get excited about it. But we are constantly evolving our sound, and that always takes something to kind of inspire you to go in some different direction.
I know on the Beatles, on the White Album, they had all of their wives and family and some of their kids just on background vocals. Have you guys ever considered that with your families?
Well, we actually, my daughter, we're working on this concept album, and my daughter did some spoken word stuff on it. And my daughter Bella, and then my wife Connie did a little bit on it. We needed some voices to say some things during this concept record, so they did that. And my son Willie did a little bit of a voice on this other concept record we've been working on forever. And one of these days we'll put them out there. But
for the most part, our kids and our families are really embarrassed of us, and they don't really want to be associated with, us and, this, whatever we're doing, and getting out there and jumping around with guitars and being loud, they got more important stuff to do. So they're, not really all that involved in the band.
When we play LA, we have to pay them to come to our shows.
It's getting around the country and all that. But, if you're a fan of it, call up your local AAA and Americana stations and ask those sons of guns to play it. That's, pretty much the only way you can do it these days. It's, you gotta make a call and beg that they'll even play it. But there's so much music out there right now that, there's just an overwhelming amount of songs that these radio stations are being given to play right now. So we're, just a blip.
So basically, guys, we're doing a quick recap. We want to go ahead and say, if you guys want to visit the Boxmasters, they have Light Rays on CD, LP. You can also digital download it. It makes a perfect Christmas present. If you don't want Light Rays, well, they have plenty more other albums too, or you can do the whole set for Christmas, holidays, birthdays. You can check out the Boxmasters on their social media. They have Facebook, the Boxmasters. On Instagram, it's the official Boxmasters, and their website, it is theboxmasters.com. They also have a free tour book that you can download while you're listening to Light Rays. The main title on this track is Breathe Easy. It's their very first song, and it really takes you into their songwriting, captures the moment of how they record. Bud, would anything else you would like to add to that?
Well, I'd just like to say thanks to everybody out there, to all the fans. We love our fans, and can't wait to see you on tour next summer.